which was gifted by Cyborg Rachel. Rachel, thank you for covering Techie's resub. Thank you, thank you. Just Cats. Do we get to see any Just Cats during this marathon? It's like barely there in Origins. It's starting.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
Oh yeah, there's no dialogue because there's still not a finished save file on this emulator. I was almost killed back there. Yeah, it is kind of weird. But yeah, if you play Silent Hill 2 with a memory card with no finished gameplay, the cutscenes do not have the dialogue in the intro. No spoilers. Maybe I did. What's a little girl like you doing here anyway? Huh? Are you blind or something? Oh, it's you. Just put the gun to your head? Look, a random scene of Angela running around in the fucking... what's his name's house? From Born from a Wish. Ernest Hemingway. And then the Eddie and Laura next to the van. All these little bits and pieces of cutscenes that we never see in the game. Maria on the stage in Heaven's Night, just writhing around. Laura happily walking into a room.
Who I am. I'm here for you, James.
Eddie's van.
I'm real.
I gotta bring that alert back. Guys, see, there's Eddie's van again. I gotta bring that alert back into rotation. A fully nub-dubbed version of the game. Oh man, that would be interesting to try and undertake. There's a streamer that I really like named Lobos Jr. who's been working at, I don't think he's finished yet. He's done most of it. Who's been working at completely redubbing all of the music and dialogue and sound effects in Dark Souls 1. where he makes the footstep noises, he does the boss music, he does all the attack sounds for all the enemies, like every little sound in the game he does with his voice. And he's been working on doing that as a mod for Dark Souls 1. It'd be interesting to try and undertake that for something like Silent Hill 2 and do that for like all the sounds, all the dialogue, everything in Silent Hill 2. Just do it a cappella. All right, well, let's go. Let's do this marathon. As said, I'm just going to kind of be speedrunning through the gameplay, but we're going to watch cutscenes and possibly test some emulation stuff. Beatbox all the Silent Hill music. Still better than the new voices on the HD collection. Damn. Not wrong, though.
Mary, could you really be in this town?
Maybe. You know what? Since I'm on controller, I'm using my PlayStation 5 controller with the PS2 emulator. Let's get some 2D control type practice in. Because if I start speedrunning this game again, seriously, which I will do at some point, I need to get used to these 2D style controls. The directional control scheme. My week was good, Dagoth. Thank you. Been getting a lot of stuff done around the house, and then also had some very lazy days where I just kind of felt like shit.
In my restless dreams, I see that town.
But overall good, because even
Silent
the lazy days, it's nice just being able to take some time and chill.
You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said, Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. A dead person can't write a letter. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. So then, why am I looking for her? Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place. Does she mean the park on the lake? We spent the whole day there. Just the two of us, staring at the water. Could Mary really be there? Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
God, still such a good, creepy intro, but you've got that combination of Guy Seehe's voice acting, Mary's reading of the letter, Monica Horgan's performance reading the letter, and of course that sweet, sweet Yamaoka guitar. Good, I didn't miss the van. We have officially had one van sighting so far. There will be many more. Love this game, but the enhanced edition has really spoiled us. This looks rough in comparison. And this, with the PS2 emulation, like, this is not raw PS2 image quality. This is pumped up internal resolution and like anti-aliasing and a bunch of other stuff set up through the PCSX2 emulator. So widescreen mod, etc. So there's a little bit of jankiness here and there. With some of the visuals when emulating, it's still not perfect, but it's gotten pretty good compared to how it used to be not too many years ago. Shipping dock. But yeah, compared to Enhanced Edition, it really shows how much Enhanced Edition like went above and beyond with making this game just look amazing on PC. Look and sound and play amazing on PC. Kind of like the rough PS2 look though. Honestly, same. Like, I've played this game in so many different ways on so many different hardwares over the years, and like, they all sort of have their pros and cons.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
But even the old
Lost?
original PS2 on like a old CRT TV type
I'm
deal,
looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
like there's a lot of
Yeah.
textures in these
hard to see
games
with
that were
this part,
made to be
There's
played
only the
and
one
viewed
road. You can't miss
on like a 2000
Thanks.
era television set.
it. But
Yes?
I think you'd better stay away.
And it's nice being able to see all that stuff like up-resed and nice and clean through emulator or through Enhanced Edition.
This town,
But there is something also kind of
something wrong with
unique
it.
about looking at it
it's
on
kinda
original
hard to
hardware
explain,
on an old
Is
TV,
it dangerous?
where all the textures and colors and things are blending the way that the team kind of designed them to.
fog either.
Okay,
It's,
I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just, I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
But why?
I'm looking for someone.
Who is it?
Someone very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry. It's not your
No,
problem.
I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
Now just imagine Bloober Team trying to remake this classic. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I don't believe in the
What is
hype.
it?
Oh, nothing. Sure is quiet here, huh?
I guess.
I love that. I guess. Set stream to 160p for genuine experience. Look at that fog, baby.
Aren't you looking for someone?
That's right.
That's right. I love that response from Angela. Town sure is quiet. It's fucking called Silent Hill. It's kind of the point. We got past the intro of the first game before remake rumors began to show in chat. Oh, it's going to be all night long. All night long. All night. It's crazy, dude. The Silent Hill fandom is... Now, keep in mind, past examples of Silent Hill fandom include man who yells about circumcision on the internet. And I still feel like current day Silent Hill fandom is crazier. Like, oh my god. All the stuff surrounding the rumors has gotten so crazy. There's like so much fan art. And I mean, it's great that people are being creative and like people are really hopeful about new Silent Hill stuff, because honestly, down deep in my core, I would love it. I would love for there to be a new Silent Hill game, a new good Silent Hill game to play after so many years. Like, you have no idea how happy that would make me. But man, when, I don't know, people buy into the rumors and the sources are all just like dude on Twitter who says, source, trust me, bro. Just saying what I've heard. Nothing official, nothing confirmed. But then you have so many people, so many like websites publishing articles about it because these people say stuff. And I mean, it's rough. It's rough to like get into that mindset as somebody who's just been a fan of this series for a long time. And I don't know, combination of things. I feel like I'm very jaded as a Silent Hill fan and horror fan. But you guys got to understand these rumors. You can't buy into these rumors. It's been the same shit literally since PT was canceled like 7 years ago. People have been saying the same things. You know, Sony's going to buy Silent Hill. Kojima's going to buy Silent Hill. Like, people were saying that when he went and started working on Death Stranding. Death Stranding was secretly Silent Hill, and it's just been different versions of the same rumors for like so long now. The fact that people will just jump all over guy on Twitter who's like, yeah, it's definitely happening, and everyone believes him. Specifically, I think we know who we're talking about here. I don't want to name names, and I don't want people to like... It's a touchy thing to talk about, you know? Because I don't want people to think like, oh, you need to go and talk shit to this person or do anything. Like, no, none of that is necessary. Like, at the end of the day, it's a fucking stupid waste of time thing. And people can believe what they want to believe, I guess, at the end of the day. Or be hopeful for what they want to be hopeful for, or whatever. But I just think it's really gross to like take advantage of a fandom that's been desperate for a new good game for such a long time by just being like, this is what I've heard, can't confirm, and people super buy into it. Yo, Michelle, thank you so much for the 9 months. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Hope you've been doing well. I thought Origins was the PSP game. It was originally for PSP. It was originally for PSP, but it got a port to PS2.
Is it dead? What the hell is it?
Can't blame people for buying into it, honestly. They're desperate. See, that's what I don't get. I don't understand the desperation. I don't understand the desperation from so much of the fan base. Like, I've been playing these games literally since the first one came out.
Oh, yeah.
I've been obsessively playing them and, like, learning about them since the third one came out.
This thing broken?
And you'd think I, of all people, would be that fan who's just like, oh my god, it's been so long since a good Silent Hill game. Like, buying into stuff.
What the?
I don't understand the fan base
I better take it anyway. I
that
might need it.
that takes that bait so easily and gets so excited over the prospect of something like, you know, with so little evidence. Like, not just the prospect of it, because honestly, if there was something that was really official, then sure, I can understand being like kind of hyped for that, but damn. When it's just guy on Twitter and one who's like a notorious false leaker who has like, I don't know, is on record being very, very wrong about most of their quote unquote leaks. And it's like people buy into it because it's like, oh, they guessed this one thing right. They predicted this one thing. And it's like, if you just spout enough bullshit, eventually you're just going to guess by sheer luck. And it wasn't even that big of a thing. It was Resident Evil Village, and it was like, oh my god, who could have predicted that Capcom would make a Resident Evil 8 after world best-selling horror game Resident Evil 7? Like, oh my god, you must be an insider and have insider development information to have guessed that Capcom would make a Resident Evil 8 after wildly worldwide success with Resident Evil 7. I thought they would just drop the series after that and never make another Resident Evil game again. After huge fucking sales numbers of a new Resident Evil game, who could have predicted that they'd make an 8? Like, and that's why people are like, well, he must be an insider. He must know something. And people still believe that it's like, yeah, whatever he says is real. Oh, that's frustrating. Sorry. It turned into a rant about the rumors and stuff. This is going to happen multiple times throughout the night. As a heads up, this topic will probably come up multiple times throughout the stream. And best just to get it out, right? I even do have I have a command. So now that I've kind of like said my piece, for anybody else who comes in like 6 hours later and they're like, what do you think about the new Bloober Team remake? You can just do !leak. And there it is. Adds a number to the remake counter. What are my thoughts on Bloober Team? To be fair, the only games of theirs that I've played are Layers of Fear and Layers of Fear 2. And I hated both of those. I never played the Medium or any of their other stuff, though. Yeah, Blair Witch was their other one.
Hey, wait! Damn it.
Where does the Silent Hill Pachinko rate on the list? I would put the Pachinko right above Origins. Maybe even above Downpour. Definitely above Origins. I'd rather play the Pachinko game than Origins or Book of Memories. And yes, I have actually played the Pachi slot. Like I've spent several hours playing it. So I'm not just talking out of my ass and shitting on other Silent Hill games. Like, legitimately, there is an unfair amount of effort put into the Pachi slot. Like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating because there's things on the Pachi slot where it's like, damn, they actually tried. And I wish that effort could have gone into, like, an actual Silent Hill game. Do I know Japanese? A little bit. I'm not fluent or anything. I would say I probably have, like, first or second grade reading and speaking level. Realizing you literally can't die for about 99% of the medium killed it for me. Maybe I should play all the other Bloober Team games. We'll just get really fucking mad at them for a stream. I got the clock key. If you try to fall off a balance beam, the game doesn't let you. So, like, what's the point? Just wait. So it does, like, downpour style balance beam sections, but it makes them even more pointless. That's kind of crazy. Great. I'm at preschool level for now. Well, good luck. Good luck with your studies. Ganbatte. It's, Japanese is difficult. It's pretty difficult. It's, from what I've heard, it's definitely not like the hardest language in the world to learn, but just for example, I started trying to learn Japanese probably around like 12 or 13. And I'm 34. And I'm still maybe first or second grade level of speaking and reading. And that's not even like writing. I'm fucking terrible at writing. Remember, Masahiro Ito said he's not fucking. Look at him. Look at him not fucking. There's clearly no penetration. They ain't fucking. If Silent Hill 2 is my favorite of the series, does that mean James is my favorite protagonist? No. No. Heather in Silent Hill 3 is my favorite protagonist. 2 is my favorite game overall. I think Silent Hill 2 being a standalone experience, you don't have to play any other Silent Hill game to like enjoy and understand Silent Hill 2. It's a very good self-contained experience with really good story, atmosphere, artwork, music, sound. But there are things that I think other Silent Hill games did better. Like Silent Hill 3 has much better dialogue. I think the writing of Silent Hill 3 is really fucking good. And I think Heather is a much better protagonist than James. You get to know and learn so much about Heather as a character and Heather as a person throughout Silent Hill 3. Whereas James, like, you get a bit of an understanding through things here and there. For example, with Silent Hill 2, I always kind of point out there later on when you're going through Heaven's Night, there's some alcohol bottles. And if you examine them, you get some dialogue where James is like, you know, he talks about drinking. He's like, this isn't the time and place for that. It's not that I don't drink. Sometimes I drink a lot to get away from the pain and the loneliness. But not right now. Like, so he gives you a little bit of insight into his character. Like, okay, James drinks, like, especially to cope with what's been going on with Mary. That little bit of dialogue stands out in Silent Hill 2 because it's so scarce. There's almost nothing where you examine something in the environment and it gives you that much dialogue about the character who's examining it. In Silent Hill 3, that type of dialogue is fucking everywhere. Like, everything in the environment you can go and you can look at, and more than just Heather being like, oh, it's this thing. I don't have a use for that. She'll say things about herself. She'll say that, oh, that's gross. Or, oh, this makes me think of this. Like, she gives so much character in all the dialogue when you're just examining things. Even the memes, even the shit that people think of as the memes, like the it's bread thing. People don't realize that there is more dialogue in that bakery shop. You learn more about Heather's character examining different things in that bakery shop than you learn about James in all of Silent Hill 2. Just through examining things in the environment. The bread. But that's like not all that she says. She doesn't just say it's bread. There's more dialogue after that. When we get to Silent Hill 3, we'll look at it. We'll read the dialogue. Yeah, Techie actually tweeted that out. There's a whole extra, like, 2 sentences or something. There's a bunch of extra dialogue after the bread meme. It's not all she says. It's funny because when you first examine it, that's all you see is just her saying it's bread. But then you press the button again and there's more dialogue. Like, she keeps fucking talking. She's got stuff to say about the bread. There's the note about Walter. Here's a bunch of stuff that gets kind of used, but also kind of retconned at the same time in Silent Hill 4. But I'm not really hungry, so I guess I don't need to worry about it. Thank you, Techie. It's bread, but I'm not really hungry, so I guess I don't need to worry about it. Even if it's something very minor, she's still just like... she's describing how she feels at that moment. When examining something in the environment, just some random thing. See, like, James... you can't go over here and examine this. And James is like, you know, if it weren't so creepy, I could take a dip in this little hot tub. I can remember Mary laying out on one of these beach chairs at the hotel we stayed at. No, none of that. We don't get anything. We don't get any sort of environmental dialogue in Silent Hill 2 outside of some really specific rare things throughout the game. Most of the time, you get nothing, or you get, I can't use this isn't important, etc. In Silent Hill 3, there's so much. Heather has so much to say about, like, everything in every environment.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Do what?
I didn't do anything. I swear. He was like this when I got here.
My name's James. James Sunderland.
Eddie.
Eddie. Who's that dead guy in the kitchen?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't kill anybody.
You're not friends with that red pyramid thing, are you?
Red pyramid thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Honest. But I did see some weird looking monsters. They scared the hell out of me, so I ran in here.
Well, I guess this place isn't too safe either. What happened here anyway?
I told you, I don't know. I'm not even from this town. I just...
You too, huh? Something just brought you here, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, whatever it is, I think you better get out of here soon.
Yeah, you're right. What about you?
I'll leave as soon as I'm done here. Eddie, be careful.
James, you be careful too.
Yo, Wayward Son, thank you so much for the 57-month resub. That is a lot of months. That is a lot of support. You've been supporting me and supporting my channel for such a long time now. Well beyond the years of me being partnered. Hell, you pretty much mostly funded the computer that I was streaming on. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Glad to see you here. Like that Pyramid Head is red when you first see him unprompted? Yeah. And I think that's to also give a little bit more impact to the Red Devil mention in the note about Walter Sullivan you find in this. Because keep in mind, like, Silent Hill 4 was not written at this point. It was not an idea yet. So when they talk about Red Devil in that note with Walter Sullivan, they're not talking about Jimmy Stone, which is what they changed that to be for Silent Hill 4. It's supposed to be more of a direct reference to Pyramid Head and the way that he appears. Do people usually introduce themselves by full name when meeting someone? Not so much in the United States. That's a bit more of like a Japanese thing, where you would more often give like a full name, a first and last name. Because outside of like official things, like if you were just meeting somebody in like a weird town, you'd probably just say your first name if you were doing introductions. Hey, Python. Yo, Baker. Baker with the $20 tip, dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. Sci-Fi Guy privated or deleted some of your runs from YouTube. Do !YT in chat. They're not privated or deleted. Sci-Fi Guy's been transferring stuff over to a new channel. He's separating out the Silent Hill content from the James Cameron content on his main channel. So he's got a secondary channel called Restless Dreams. You can get a link to it if you do !YT in chat. But everything's just being moved over there. Oh right, this cutscene is bugged on the emulator. It like pretends like it's gonna freeze for a little bit, but it will play. But it's weird because it also offsets the music.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I'm James.
Angela.
Angela. Okay. I don't know what you're planning, but there's always another way.
Really?
Yeah, Broken State.
But
PCSX2.
you're the same as me. It's easier just to run.
Probably get asked all the time, but how do you not get bored playing the same games for several years?
No, I'm not.
I love this series. I just love these games. And to be fair, I do play a lot of other stuff too. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight, and I've been doing a lot of Death Stranding and Back 4 Blood.
It's okay. Did you find?
But with Silent Hill, I mean, I just love these games. No more Phasmo? No, I'm still gonna do Phasmo. There's a big update coming to Phasmo soon. They're adding another ghost and a bunch of other stuff, so we'll probably be playing it a lot when that
All
update
you know
hits.
is she lived in this town.
What did you say?
Are they remaking this? That's the rumor currently circulating. I don't
just
think so.
figured, 'cause
I
this is where you're
personally do
looking
not
for.
believe in that.
How else would I know?
Yeah.
Am I right?
I'm so tired.
Love watching
So,
others play Death
why
Stranding,
did you
but
come to this
can't bring
town?
myself to play it personally. That's fine. That's very understandable. It is that kind of game
I'm
where for a lot of
sorry.
people it's much more interesting to watch than to play.
Did you find the person
But I love
you're
it.
looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
Yeah, supposedly Death Stranding 2 accidentally leaked by Norman Reedus.
I'm sorry.
I would love that.
It's okay. Anyway, she's dead.
Hey, Sonic Steak Eater.
I don't know why I think she's here.
Sonic, thank you so much for the
She's
resub. Very much
dead?
appreciated. Hope you're doing well tonight.
Don't worry. I'm not crazy. At least, I don't think so.
I've got to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town's dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
I'll be okay
Fox
by
the
myself.
Ghost, thank you so much for the resub.
Besides, I'd just slow you down.
Nub Love, thank you
What
so
about
much.
That.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If
Keep
I
in mind,
can-
Norman Reedus is not like,
I'm not sure what I might
he's not
do.
a regular in the gaming industry. And he himself, I don't think, really plays a whole lot of video games. I know he plays some stuff, but not a whole lot. So what he may have been working on could also potentially just be some more like DLC or something like that. It might not necessarily even be another full sequel to Death Stranding, because when he's talking about like, you know, oh, we're working on a second one, it could just be that's what, you know, Kojima brought him in to do more stuff for like a DLC pack, you know, like a chapter update or something to that effect, not necessarily a sequel. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Not where I need to be.
What was that?
Here we go.
Who in the hell was that?
King Stefanos, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully they can spruce up the game. I mean, the updates to... Did I not get this key? Oh, yeah, that's the coin puzzle. I've got the coins. I need to do that. I already liked a lot of the stuff that got added with Director's Cut and the PC like crossover content, the Half-Life content, the Cyberpunk content. Since all that was included on the Director's Cut, I was really enjoying all that stuff. Definitely like a bit more combat instead of being discouraged from it. Well, Director's Cut already did some new stuff with combat too. It added like the entire like VR missions essentially. It's basically Metal Gear Solid VR missions, but for Death Stranding, where you have your rotating online leaderboards with goals, using all sorts of different weapons or no weapons at all, and you have to do stealth missions and all sorts of different, like, all sorts of shit added with Death Stranding through the target practice and weapons trials. And like, I had a lot of fun just doing that. I had to try to like stop myself from only doing that on stream, because I figured like people would get bored of me sitting around doing weapon trials for hours on end. But I absolutely could, because it's a lot of fun. Did they add racing in the Director's Cut? Yes. There is full-on track racing with online leaderboards. You don't do like multiplayer races, but you can do like racing against other players' best times, their ghosts. And they added like the Roadster. So if you finish all the time trials for the Roadster, you unlock being able to build that and use that wherever. There's a lot of really nice stuff added with Director's Cut. Absolutely isn't fucking. Ito said so. He ain't fucking. Hey, what's up, Ivonicus? The 3D model animation of Pyramid Head's helmet opening up for the tongue blew my mind. Always thought it just slithered out. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Being able to see it in like really close detail with the model by itself. It's such a subtle animation, like so many people very, very easily miss it in the game. Or just don't see it at all. Like a lot of people just, you don't ever see the grab attack. You either destroy Pyramid Head like I did, or more than likely you'll get hit by a sword swing, then a grab.
You! It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
You know what? Talking about the
Are you
Pyramid
blind or
Head
something?
tentacle, his tongue
What's that letter?
coming out of his helmet. Did you know that
None of your
in
business.
Pyramid Head's model on Dead by Daylight,
Love Mary
he was
anyway.
originally supposed to have
How do you know Mary's name?
a tongue animation that wound up being cut, but people found it in like game files and stuff. So Pyramid Head in DBD was still supposed to have his weird tongue move, but apparently they cut the animation. I guess because it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, but from what I saw from like the ripped files, it was pretty good. Probably couldn't fit it into gameplay. I mean, it could have been part of like his pickup animation. Oh, this is another cutscene. The cutscenes just kind of start doing this throughout Silent Hill 2 on PCSX2, where they hang for a minute, but then they start playing. It like acts like it's gonna crash, but then it'll start working.
Mary?
It's just weird because it makes the music offset from where it normally is on the cutscene.
No, you're not.
Pyramid Head has a tongue. He does. It's kind of like a little tentacle thing
Late wife.
that comes out of his helmet whenever he grabs
I
you.
can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face.
Probably loading.
It's just your hair.
I mean, it shouldn't load like that.
Name
And
is Maria.
I've got a high-end enough
I
PC
don't look like a ghost.
that for PlayStation 2 emulation to be loading something in, it shouldn't hang like that.
Feel how warm I am?
It's probably just an emulator setting that I need to tweak. I'm still trying to find like the ideal
Sorry.
settings for every Silent Hill game on this emulator, so that's part of why I'm doing this marathon tonight. I'm just testing out how all the games run on my current settings for PCSX2.
Oh yeah.
Which
3 years
games
ago.
work with it, which games don't, which ones are going to be way worse. We're going to finish off with Shattered Memories. It's going to be the last one in the marathon, and just as a heads up,
That's here?
Silent Hill Shattered Memories on PlayStation 2 emulation is really broken. Like
Is this your
it's got some strange
special place?
funny moments because of how broken it is. I don't even know if I'll be able to finish a whole playthrough of it, but we're going to try. But yeah, PlayStation 2's Shattered Memories on emulation for some reason is just, it's really fucked up. You'll
Well,
see when we get
there's
to
the
it.
hotel
10 hours
too,
from
I
now,
guess.
you'll see what I mean.
The one on the lake? I wonder if it's still there.
The Lakeview Hotel? Yeah, it's still there. So, the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was. Don't get so mad. I was just joking. Anyway, it's not that way. It's this way.
Yeah, I
You're
think
coming
Origins,
with
the
me?
flashlight is a
You
little
were
bit
gonna
bugged.
just leave me?
No, but
With all these monsters around?
no, I just
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone. I look like Mary, don't I? You loved her, right? Or maybe you hated her.
Some strange jank.
don't be ridiculous.
So it's okay?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, fine. We got a bunch of other games to play, Maria, so let's fucking book it. The old emulation of PS1 games on PS2, you'd get chipmunk voices in some games. So that's actually a setting that you can change on the PlayStation 2 when you're doing when you're playing PlayStation 1 games. You can change the disc read speed from normal to fast, and that's usually what causes that. If you put it on normal, it'll usually play PS1 games correctly on actual PS2 hardware. Seen that on Silent Hill 1 runs? Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like for a lot of runners that that play on PlayStation 2 hardware, it's faster for the speedrun to have fast disc speed on. But yeah, it makes the
wait.
cutscenes
I
play
hate bowling.
super
I
fast,
didn't come here to
and all
play,
the voices are all
Hurry
chipmunky.
back. Okay.
You know, one thing that I really like about the PlayStation 2
So what'd
version,
you do?
kind of taking time
Robbery?
to
Murder?
load in between
Nah,
areas, is you
nothing
still
like
get
that.
that pause
Huh.
before the next scene and like the white footprint
What'd you have to say that
loading
for?
screen animation.
I thought you said the cops.
One of those things you
got
don't get on PC when
No.
everything's like loading
I
instantly.
just ran because I was scared. I don't know what the cops are doing.
But if you did something bad, why don't you just say you're sorry? Well,
Best
I
music.
guess I
Oh
run
yeah,
away a lot too.
this one is
No
up there.
good.
One of
They
my
wouldn't
favorites.
Listen, nobody will ever forgive me.
Boom. It's so good. That fucking drum loop and then the bass line.
What's her name? Mary?
This bass line here. Doom. Doom doom. Doom. So good. So good.
Eddie?
Oh, you're...
James. We met in the apartment building?
He says he didn't come here to play, but let's be honest, he totally should. Maybe Bloober Team will put in a bowling minigame in the remake.
Are you alone here, Eddie?
I can't wait.
no.
Bye-bye.
Wait! Come back! Eddie, let's go after her.
Huh? Laura? But why?
Laura. Is that her name?
That's what she said.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
She said she was fine by herself.
Hey, Count
Said
Wolf.
a fatso like me would just slow her down.
Good evening, Nubbin Chat. Query. Based on Maria's origin story in Born from a Dream, you mean Born from a Wish, is she a corporeal spirit? It's hard to say. She is a manifestation from the town, which means she's real in a sense. She's not an illusion, but she's not like a normal flesh and blood person, because manifestations in Silent Hill 2 can appear as different things to different people. We see the example of that with Angela the best. You're in his little boss room. It's James and Angela.
Did a little girl run out
Angela
of here?
sees
Yeah,
her father,
She's too fast for me.
but
Aren't
James
you gonna go after
has
her?
never met Angela's father, Thomas Orozco, so he sees what Thomas Orozco represents, which is the abstract daddy creature. So theoretically, Maria would operate under those same principles. Like, she looks like Maria to James, but to another person, we don't know what she would look like. And she is never seen by anybody else throughout this
She
entire
went through
game.
there.
That's her whole reason for not going in the bowling alley. Laura is there and is real. Eddie is there and is real. So if she walked in there with James and James is like, this is Maria, and Eddie and Laura, Eddie sees a monster and Laura sees nothing, like, James's entire perception that the town is trying to
good.
like give him
It's locked.
suddenly does not work. Always made me wonder, what was Eddie seeing, regular people or monsters? Eddie says himself in the cutscene we watched earlier in the hotel, he says he saw some weird looking monsters when James asks him about the Red Pyramid thing. And Eddie doesn't know about the Red Pyramid thing, but Eddie's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I did see some weird looking monsters. So he is seeing monsters, but we see Eddie's victims as people. So again, that could be the town giving us different perspectives, or, you know, liquor bottles. See, so this is some of that dialogue I was talking about. In Silent Hill 3, this type of dialogue is everywhere. In Silent Hill 2, there's only a couple of things. And this is one of them. Liquor bottles. I don't need that right now. It's not that I don't drink. In fact, I drink a fair bit to get away from the pain, the loneliness, but the drinking never changes anything. Anyway, I don't need it now. There's something that I have to do. So you get a lot of insight into James's character by examining something in the environment. There's such a small handful of things like that in Silent Hill 2, but in Silent Hill 3, that kind of stuff is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Could never tell if Laura was real. Always thought she was like Maria. No, Laura was confirmed real. That was one of the ones. I need to get all of my citations and stuff in order. I need to do, maybe we'll do another compiling notes streams for the series, because I need to get all my notes together on the new setup and the new computers since I've moved and everything.
Over there!
But there were devs who had mentioned that Laura is real. Yeah, she interacts with Eddie, who is also real. I don't know why I'm picking up the map, just out of habit. Have you ever read or watched Solaris? No, neither. The potential for this illness exists in all people and under the right circumstances. Any man or woman would be driven like him to the other side. I love this description of the other world. The other side perhaps may not be the best way to phrase it. After all, there is no wall between here and there. It lies on the borders where reality and unreality intersect. Place both close and distant. I'm not going to be reading all the notes. That one in particular. I love that description. Nifty Pifty. Thank you so much for the 10 months in the Prime sub. Thank you, thank you. Very much appreciated. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hey, what's up, Dancing Rick? What's really fun is watching people's blind playthroughs of this on YouTube, like Maximilian or Wooly. Oh, yeah. I still troll through the Twitch directories every once in a while to watch people who are playing Silent Hill games for the first time.
Ow.
And I never chat.
wrong?
I love to just sit and watch
myself.
people play
Are you okay?
Silent Hill for the first time.
Yeah.
It is always an experience to see somebody trying to like work things out and how to, you know, piece things together, how to piece together the story, how much of it they know or don't know through like memes and other information out there. One of my favorite blind playthroughs, I've talked about it on stream many times before, but one of my favorite blind playthroughs of the Silent Hill games was my good friend and fellow streamer on Twitch, Very Dave. Very Dave, when he was playing Silent Hill 2, he spent like 5 or 6 hours on the safe puzzle in the apartments. He was playing on the hardest riddle difficulty, not extra riddle difficulty, but hard riddle difficulty. And was trying to figure out the combination to the safe, which is a totally optional puzzle, by the way. But he was just so thrown off with like trying to figure out how to interpret the code, and he worked at it for like hours and hours and hours. And when he finally got it, he did it by accident. And like his brain broke on stream. He was just like, what? How is it that? What? Like, because he wasn't intending for it to be solved because it just happened on accident. But this was many years ago, Il Palazzo. Unfortunately, the entire VOD is gone. So the whole playthrough cannot be watched. It's not archived, but there are clips from it. And him solving the safe puzzle in the apartments is one of the clips that I know he still has on his channel. So at the very least, that moment was captured. But that whole playthrough, his whole playthrough of the series for the first time was gold. 3641. Remember that, chat. What was his name again? Very Dave. Here, hang on. Let me do a shout out. Yeah, shout outs to Dave. Really great streamer. Awesome dude. $1634. Is that what it actually was? That wasn't accurate, was it? I'm gonna double check. You're lying to me. 3641. Everyone's posting it incorrectly. Puzzle's worst enemy. This was always like the hardest part of speedrunning Silent Hill games, honestly, was number puzzles. This puzzle in particular, you have to remember 2 4-digit numbers. And you would think that that's not, a whole lot. But when you're doing like run after run after run after run, is there anything else I need from this floor? But yeah, it's very easy to mix up numbers and combinations and things in my head when doing like a lot of speed runs, especially just back to back. Exactly, it kind of starts to bleed together. Like what I started to do for Silent Hill 2 at the time when I very first started learning to speedrun it, I would sort of sing the numbers to myself. Be like, 3, 4, 1, 6, blah, 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 whatever the next number we get for opening up the box. And eventually I realized all I have to memorize for the second 4-digit number is the first 3 digits. Because the 4th digit, it's a rotating combination lock. So you plug in the first 3 digits and then the 4th one, you just click it and rotate it as fast as possible. Because once it gets to the correct number, it'll just automatically lock in.
I'm kind of tired.
So I went from having to memorize 8 numbers to 7 numbers. And I would just sort of sing it out like a phone number almost to keep it in my head whenever I was speedrunning.
You should rest.
And then as my channel started getting more and more viewers, I just got to a point where I'm like, chat, remember that number? And people in chat would type the number, and I was entirely relying on chat to be accurate for
Laura,
several
I'll
speedruns.
be back as soon as I can.
James, I want to ask you something. What if you can't find Mary? What will you do?
I read some of the endings are kind of hard to get with specific ways you interact with Maria and items. They used to be a lot harder. They used to be a lot harder to manipulate what ending you're going to get. But yeah, it's been very thoroughly data mined. And was that Jokey who posted up the I think I still have it saved somewhere. But Jokey, who's done a lot of Silent Hill modding and hacking and data mining and stuff over the years, posted up a thing explaining the breakdown of how Silent Hill 2 determines what ending you're going to get. And it's really, really interesting, some of the ways that the game figures out and some of the triggers that you would not expect. But if you're using that that sort of spreadsheet that Jokey put out as a guide for getting all the endings, you can actually do it pretty reliably. It used to feel very random. As somebody who used to like go for all endings and stuff like that, it used to feel very random. But then after Jokey data mined it and put out all the info on it, it made a lot more sense. Like the sort of stuff that would work. And things that would affect the endings. Did I get this? I did not get this. We need this number. What do you think, chat? 2124? 7124? 9124? Should be 2124, I think, with this font. Even though that first digit is like a fucking question mark. Question mark 124. I have it. Can I post it? I don't think people can post links right now. Let me see. Do I have it saved somewhere where I can get to it easily? Yes, I do. So here, I can post it. So there you go. There is the GitHub link in chat for anybody who's interested. So for the Silent Hill 2 endings guide, you can see it's a complete breakdown of what you need for Ritual, Leave, Maria in water, and then Dog and UFO are kind of their own circumstance. But it shows you sort of what point value each ending starts as. And then as you go through and play, the different things that you infect, the different things you sort of are affected by or do throughout your playthrough. If you take damage, if you heal, if you bump Maria, if you spend time away from Maria at a specific distance. All these sort of factors play into your ending. Including which endings you've already gotten. The game actually takes note of which endings you've already gotten, and that will affect future playthroughs. So like you're not likely to get the same ending twice unless you're a speedrunner who's got like all endings multiple times, multiple playthroughs on your saves. Because then things get very, very consistent. Purple bowl key, lapis eye key. Okay, chat, what was the first one? What was the first number? Booty Call of Cthulhu, thank you so much for the 56 months. The best name on Twitch. 3641. And then it was 2124. It wasn't. It was 7124. That question mark, it's a 7. By the way, the font for that puzzle changes based on your riddle difficulty level. If you're playing on easy riddles, the font of the blood on the wall for that combination is easier to read than if you're on hard riddle difficulty. Turtle, thank you so much for the 21 months. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Oh, really? Never knew that? I did not know that either until I started speedrunning Silent Hill 2. Another speedrunner by the name of Big Man Japan, who had the world record at the time when I first started learning this game, gave me a lot of information when I started running to try to help me get better. And one of the things that he shared with me was the textures for the font for the blood on the wall as part of that puzzle. So essentially there are 4 different fonts of bloody numbers each corresponding to a different riddle difficulty. So easy, normal, hard, and extra all have their own font for blood on the wall. So if you're playing on easy riddle, that blood on the wall, the numbers are a lot more easy to tell what they are. Whereas if you're playing on extra riddle, some of the blood on the wall is very obscure and looks like several different numbers. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is unless you're like super familiar with it. Bowie, thank you so much for the 52 months. Just got home from ramen hunting. Time to relax and fall asleep to Nub PR. Oh, and here's a sub. Thank you so much for the resub. Ramen hunting. I have me some ramen noodles from like an official
My name?
from like a real authentic Asian market, Japanese market.
That big fat blabbermouth.
Just the noodles by themselves so that I can make my actual
What's the big
stock
deal?
and base and everything myself.
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No.
Need to make me some fancy ramen. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
I was friends with Mary. We met at the hospital.
Nubs Weeaboo level 25. Yeah, I'm way past level 25 at this point.
Laura.
What's up, nobody?
Fine, don't believe me.
I'm way past Weeaboo level 25.
Last year.
I have pictures of me doing fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure poses in Japan.
I'm sorry, Laura. Anyway, let's go.
Well over 9,000.
We can talk about this later. This is no place for a kid. There are all sorts
What's
of
up,
strange
nobody?
things around here.
Hope you're doing
I
well
can't believe
tonight.
you haven't even
Good to
gotten
see
a
you.
scratch on you.
Why should I?
I love how different endings feel more canon for people based on how consistent the ending feels with their experience with the narrative. I feel like most of the other Silent Hill games don't really need multiple endings. I agree. The Silent Hill 2 endings being left open,
Yes, yes.
it really does sort of lend itself to the player experience. Like how you play the game really does affect the ending. Well before that was like an intended sort of mechanic with like Shattered Memories, where they tell you up front the game changes itself as you play it. Whereas Silent Hill 2 is just kind of doing that in the background, where it's like, okay, if you take a lot of damage and you don't heal yourself and you sort of focus on the more depressing aspects of the game
What
with
are
the
you
things
doing,
that you
Laura?
examine, you're more likely to get the in-water ending. So you get the downer, depressing, suicidal ending. And if you play the game in that way, your experience is going to kind of build up towards James fitting that sort of ending to his story here, versus people who might be
Why should I? I'm a liar, right?
more in tune with like the Leave ending, or, you know,
Huh? Huh? Do ya?
the Maria ending.
What's the magic word?
That James is the type of person who would make the same mistakes all over again
Okay.
if given the
I
chance.
guess I won't open it. I think I'll just leave you like this.
I love that sound effect. It's my favorite sound effect in the game.
Why? You
Flesh lips going whoop.
Laura?
If you die here, the last words James ever hears are, "You fart face." Oh, I've definitely died here. I died here doing plank only. I died here doing great knife only hard difficulty, I'm pretty sure.
James.
We've definitely had some timelines where the last words that James ever hears are, "You fart face." So anyway, I started blasting. The fart face ending. EJ20T with the 63 months. Holy shit. It was a long time and a lot of support. Thank you so much, EJ. Hope you're having a good night tonight. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. What was the dumbest way you died in this game, Nub? I'm sure we have it clipped. I'm 100% sure it's a clip. I'll just find the clip for you. Hold on. The first Pyramid Head fight? Yup. Someone might find it faster than I do. I'm pretty sure it's one of my more viewed clips. It should be kind of near the top. This it? No, that's not it. I was gonna guess this Sonic the Pyramid Head. No, because I don't think I didn't die there. But I did die to Pyramid Head when you fight him in the apartments because my keyboard, I was using a wireless keyboard and my keyboard died while I was taunting Pyramid Head. And being like, "You'll never get this, you'll never get this." And then my keyboard died, and he got that. Here it is, I found it. This goes for eternity. It was fate. There's the link in chat, and then we'll just watch it. We'll watch it on stream. Here it is. Here's the dumbest way I've died in Silent Hill 2.
It takes a while. This is why you definitely want to shoot him when speedrunning. It's way faster to just do damage until he leaves. My keyboard! No!
My wireless keyboard literally died.
Oh my god, my wireless keyboard turned off.
While I'm sitting there taunting him and being like, look how easy it is. You can just bait his attack and never get hit, and then eventually he goes away. And yeah, Wireless keyboard. I have not used a wireless keyboard in my stream setup since that moment. Ever since that moment, I have always used a wired keyboard and a wired mouse. I never use wireless things anymore. Man dies of hubris. The hubris. Always go wired? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like, obviously there is some convenience with having wireless, but if you play video games, especially if you're like a speedrunner, you need something reliable. You got to have wired. Oof. Still trying to get the controller to work on your PC copy. Enhanced Edition
James
fixes a lot of controller compatibility issues.
Maria. It's
If you're using Enhanced
I
Edition
thought
at
you
all.
were- Sorry. Anyway, I'm glad you're alive.
Although if you're trying to use it on like the base PC version, if you like prefer base PC version, or if you're trying to do speedruns to submit for the leaderboards where you can't use Enhanced Edition. Yeah, controller can be kind of a pain to set up with base Silent Hill 2 PC.
Less about me, could you?
It's such an old PC game, it's not compatible with
No,
X input.
I just...
So there's a lot of modern controllers and things that don't really work for it.
You're supposed to take care of me.
Joy to Key is a pretty good
What about Laura?
solution.
Did you find
It's a
her?
program where you can basically just treat it like
She ran
keyboard
away.
inputs that are being routed to your controller.
You really
So
seem
that
to
might be
care
a
about
solution
her.
for you.
Do you know her?
I've never met her before. I just feel sorry for her. She's all alone. And for some reason, I feel like it's up to me to protect her.
That's a crazy lady? No, she's confused. She's basically a dead woman who's been reincarnated and has a new life, but also memories of her previous life, while she runs around a town with the man who killed her in the previous life. So she's having a hard time. To me, it still feels like that's her responding to the hallway scene, like before the hallway scene has happened. Yeah, it does. It sounds like it's sort of supposed to be a premonition. Exactly. It's supposed to give you an idea that this is something that's going to happen. Noise created. Thank you for the 49 months. Hello, Mr. Streamer. Hope you're doing great. I am. I'm doing very well. I'm drinking some apple pie moonshine and playing a bunch of Silent Hill games. It's a hell of a Saturday night. Let's go. Thank you so much for the 49 months, Noise. Hope you're doing great as well. Apple pie moonshine, apple pie moonshine.
Merry-go-round, haunted house, roller coaster, Ferris wheel, and teacups. Silent Hill is home to a thrilling amusement park that both children and adults love. The question is, what is the name of this amusement park?
Do the dance. I'm on directional controls. It's harder to dance. I can spin.
Lakeside Amusement Park. Okay, quickly
We can head
on
nod.
to question number 2. Silent Hill witnessed a gruesome murder a few years back. A brother and sister
Ba,
were playing in the
ba,
road
ba,
when they
ba,
were
ba,
attacked
ba,
and
ba,
shot
ba,
in
ba,
the
ba, ba. What is love?
Smashed bones.
You know, Fungo made that meme like 15 years ago.
What a terrible tragedy. What a gruesome end to such innocent lives.
Now that's a throwback?
Of
Yeah.
the murderer who committed this vile act. One,
Walter Sullivan.
Scott Fairbanks. 3, Eric Day.
Need Fungo back?
Now for our third and
He
final
is
question.
still
South of the lake,
active. I know he's still like
from there to Paleville,
occasionally
the
likes
Central Resort
stuff
area
on
northwest
Twitter
of the lake.
and pops up in some chat lists on Twitch.
Just one road, no more.
So Fungo, if you're out there and if you're listening, we all love you and we miss you very much. But take your time. We hope to see you again online someday.
Well, that's the last of our questions. Have you got it all figured out?
But I agree. I also miss Fungo.
Head to the storeroom on the 3rd floor to collect your prizes. But be careful if you're wrong. Well then,
Everyone needs to take time off the internet. Oh, I agree. I have done it myself. I completely stopped streaming and doing anything online for like almost all of 2020
What
because
was
that was kind of a in case anyone doesn't remember, that was the start of the fucking COVID pandemic, and on top of a lot of other stresses in my life at that time, I was like, you know what? Mental break is needed. And I wound up just kind of taking all of 2020, not even all of it, most of it.
You can't open
I streamed January and February of 2020, and then I was like
You're supposed
not
to be
online
there.
from February until like
How's a little
August or
baby supposed
September.
to help?
But yeah, sometimes you got to make time. You got to make time for stuff.
This. Not
That's
very
the
cute.
thing is like
You
I
take
always
it.
want to
You
stream.
take it.
I love streaming and I love being on Twitch. I love chatting with you guys and like being able to do this and get by doing this. But at the same time, you can't force yourself to do it. I've never forced myself to stream if I don't feel like streaming. You know, some people can kind of put that aside and just treat it, you know, like I gotta do this, it's my job. No, if I'm not feeling it, I don't stream, you know. Kibbs, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs going out to the community. Kibbs, thank you so very, very much for the love and support. Thank you, thank you. Prison Mike 37, Not Deaf Blind, Baby Cthulhu, PRX Coffin, and I Dane Bramaged. Enjoy the subs, enjoy the emotes, resubs for like everybody there. Welcome on back. Thank you so much, Kibbs. When you make your ramen, are you going to add an egg, chashu pork, seaweed sheet, and all the fixings? Absolutely. Absolutely. Chashu, nori. I'm going to need to pick up pork when I decide to actually make it so I can get it fresh. But I'll get some fresh pork. And I've already got some Japanese pork bouillon for making the actual base. Yeah, I've got most of the stuff to fix some really nice like traditional ramen, and I've got the stuff to make some traditional pho as well. Only reason I haven't started streaming is because I'm not entirely sure I can be captivating enough to people. I mean, if you're honestly interested in streaming Broken Saint, please go for it. And just don't even worry. Don't even worry about what you're doing for the audience. Like, you've got to do what works for you. You have to do something that you yourself are entertained by. Like, if Twitch was not a thing and streaming was not a thing, and I had a regular, which I did not that long ago, like a regular 9-to-5 type job and everything, I would still just be playing a lot of Silent Hill games and replaying them and talking with my friends about them, because this is just a series of games that I love, and playing them and talking about people who also enjoy them is just something that I would do anyway, whether or not it's a stream content or whatever. But yeah, don't be worried about what an audience may or may not enjoy, or if you're captivating, if you feel like you're captivating or not. Like, literally do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, and eventually you can find something that'll click. It might not be the first thing that you try. It might not be the first game that you play. I made my account and started streaming on Twitch in 2011. I didn't start focusing on streaming Silent Hill until 2015. So for that first 4 years of streaming, I was just playing what I wanted. I used to speedrun other games, Metal Gear Solid 2, Super Mario 64, Castlevania. I would just play fighting games. I was a tournament level fighter for Super Street Fighter 4, Marvel 3, and a bunch of other fighting games from like 2009 to 2012. So 2011, 2012, I was doing a lot of fighting game streams. I was doing the couple of games that I was learning to speedrun: Mario 64, Metal Gear Solid 2, Castlevania 1. And I did, that kind of stuff for like a long time. And never had more than maybe like 10 viewers. And then I kind of put 2 and 2 together with I love Silent Hill. I've been playing. At the time, I was playing through them with my friend Jubes in 2015 or late 2014. And I was like, hey, I should just speedrun Silent Hill because it's one of my favorite games and I play it a lot anyway. So January 2015, I started streaming speedrun learning, not even full attempts. I didn't even know the full route for the game yet, but just learning speedruns for Silent Hill 2. In like January 2015, and then people really enjoyed it and really enjoyed like talking about Silent Hill and watching Silent Hill a lot. So that's what kind of wound up growing and being like the biggest thing that I can do on Twitch so far that people are interested in. And what appeals to you about speedrunning? No shade meant by that. Genuinely curious. You learn. I just like learning about games. Like my passion for Silent Hill has ultimately led to just a lot of learning, a lot of reading interviews, and a lot of playing the games to learn more about them. I really like learning more about games, and there's a lot of things that you can only learn about a game by speedrunning it. There are so many subtle game mechanics and bits of information that you'll never ever consider as being like something that you would learn about a game unless you actively start speedrunning it. So it's just one of those things that always appealed to me. I liked the idea of learning ways to beat the game very quickly, and in exchange learning a lot about how the game is made, and ways to break it and play it efficiently. So it's interesting. It's always been something that's really, really interesting to me. And then just kind of the competitive nature as well. Like I said, I did tournaments for a lot of fighting games and things like that. So being able to like play a game quickly and then compare your time against other people, I've always enjoyed like that friendly level of competition, of learning to get better at a game. And speedrunning is definitely a way to do that. Can you go back into Heaven's Night at this point? I didn't think so, but it's been a long time since I've checked. Missed the fighting game stuff. Marvel 3 was fun to watch. Yeah, I don't think I've done a Marvel 3 stream since 2013 or something. Maybe that would be an interesting... I don't know if people would... I still do that very rarely. We did like Street Fighter 4 last year. We got a bunch of friends together and did some Street Fighter 4 matches. And for a while I was playing Guilty Gear Strive with Jubes on Wednesdays. Every once in a while there's still some fighting game stuff on the channel, but it's pretty rare. When did you start to collab with folks from the old Team Silent like Enigma? Well, I was watching Enigma on like YouTube and all sorts of stuff. Way back in the day. But I don't think we started like collaborating until 2017. I think it was after Enigma. Enigma and I got partnered about a month or two apart from each other. And I want to say it was probably 2017. Like, we had been friends and like fans of each other's content. Between me, Enigma, Maxi, Raven, and Techie. Techie had been around from like the super early days when I very first started learning Silent Hill 2 speedruns. Techie's one of the first people who like came by and checked out my channel and like hosted me and stuff in the early days. There's a horror game called Injection Pie 23, no name, no number. Have you or anybody in chat heard of it? I've heard of it. I've watched people play it. I've not played it myself, though. Yeah, Rachel being one of those people who I have, I know has played it. Okay, what am I actually doing? I've just kind of gotten lost into talking to chat. Have I picked up the wrench? I never picked up the wrench. So I'm just sort of like wandering around. We need to go get the wrench. Asked so many streamers that question and only you have even heard of it. Oh yeah. I've definitely heard of it. I haven't played it, like I said, but I'm at least aware of it. Bowie, thank you so much for gifting 2 tier 1 subs and another tier 1 sub to Satsujin. Bowie gifting the subs out to Devilish Wolf and Nobody. And just now Satsujin. Bowie, thank you so much for the love and support and them gift subs going out. Thank you, thank you. $5 saved. Now I can sub to Maxi. Please do. Please do. Maxi is an awesome dude and a great streamer and deserves your $5. Hey, what's up, Angry Mitts? Time to brew another pot of coffee, I guess. I mean, how many of the Silent Hill games do you want to try and stick around for? Because we're about 2 hours into the stream. And I'm only halfway done with the first game. With Silent Hill 2. The first game in the marathon. Okay, here's our starting point. But yeah, we're doing all the PS2 games back to back today. So Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, Origins, and Shattered Memories. Am I speedrunning or just playing? We are briskly jogging. It's not a serious, like, PB attempt type speedrun, but I am trying to kind of get through the gameplay quickly, but we're still watching cutscenes and stuff like that. It's going to be a long stream, either way. Axel Rattle. Thank you so much for that brand new Prime sub. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you. Very much appreciate it. I forgot what Silent Hill had the clock dance. This one. Silent Hill 2 when we do the music box puzzle in the hotel. Shattered Memories is weird. Hey, what if Silent Hill 1 had the horrible ending? It's not even necessarily just the bad ending of Silent Hill 1 either. Like, Shattered Memories completely is an alternate universe where there's no cult and, like, none of that. Just childhood trauma. Am I following a recipe or several recipes online to make ramen? Kind of a mixture of recipes. Plus just things of my own personal taste. I'm not like a really good cook or anything, but I do cook. And I have some restaurant experience. Hey, what's up, Yami? When did I get on? Yeah, about 2 hours ago. But it's okay. It's a really big Silent Hill marathon. We're doing a bunch of games tonight. And we're only 2 hours in of what's probably going to be like a 12-hour stream. at least. Nora, thank you so much for the resub. Love you, Nub. Literally joined Twitch just to watch you. Also, did you know Norman Reedus confirmed Death Stranding 2? I did hear about that. This is not a rumor or clickbait. The man Norman himself, that he's working on Death Stranding 2. So we talked about that earlier, Nora. Norman Reedus himself did say that they're working on a second one. But the thing about Death Stranding 2 and the thing about Norman Reedus is he is not necessarily a gamer. He's an actor first and foremost and does a lot of acting work on things outside of the gaming realm. He's not like predominantly involved in the game industry. So he may be working on something like DLC and is just using like his best guess to say like, oh, we're working on a second one, when he could be recording new mocap and dialogue and stuff for like a DLC or something. It might not necessarily be Death Stranding 2. Because keep in mind, like, especially with video game development, whenever they're working on a project internally, they're not going to refer to it as what it actually is. So, again, it could be DLC, it could be a full-on sequel. We don't know how accurate he's being in that interview, but Norman straight said Death Stranding sequel. I know what Norman said, but understand what I'm saying, Nora. Norman Reedus is not predominantly working in the video game industry where somebody like Kojima could internally be working on a DLC pack where the devs shorthand refer to it as Death Stranding 2. So that's what Norman Reedus thinks of it as. But it might actually just be like a big update, a big DLC pack. Because dev companies do that, like developers do that all the time, where they refer to something internally very differently from what it's released and marketed as. So he's working on something. He's working on more Death Stranding. Whether it's a sequel or DLC or whatever, who knows how accurate Norman is in this statement. Because it's something that he probably wasn't even supposed to say in the first place. And we don't know how accurate his understanding of what he's working on is. That makes sense? Try to have some room for reasonable doubt before something's officially announced. Norman may not be used to the terms in the video game industry because he doesn't work in it. Exactly. And internally, just for the sake, like, if you're a dev and you're working on this project day in and day out, you're going to have a shorthand for, like, what you're working on. It's not going to be referred to as what it's going to be sold and marketed as. And if it's like a major DLC update to Death Stranding, internally Kojima Productions might just shorthand it as Death Stranding 2. But it might not be a full-on sequel. It could just be like, here's our really big DLC pack. Or even, here's our really big second DLC pack after Director's Cut. Or he might know exactly what he's talking about. It might be a full-on sequel. We don't know. As said, nothing official has been announced other than Norman Reedus mentioning it. But he's working on more Death Stranding. I'm down. I love Death Stranding. I'm down for more Death Stranding. Whether it's a sequel or DLC or whatever, I look forward to it. Nub, do you ever feel like Death Stranding cutscenes are a little short and vague to an average gamer? Vague, yes. Short, no. Like, there's definitely some shorter cutscenes throughout Death Stranding, the little repeatable type things, but major story progression cutscenes are usually pretty fucking long. But they are pretty vague. A lot of the context needed to understand what's going on in many of those cutscenes comes from optional notes and emails and interviews in Death Stranding that most people don't take the time to read. So, like, if you're not maxing out connection levels and getting all the interviews and reading all of the interviews and all the emails that you get after completing deliveries, if you're just sort of skipping past that and going, come on, give me the next boxes so I can go to the next place, you're going to get to those cutscenes and be like, what the fuck is going on? Whereas, like, if you take the time to read all that stuff, you do understand most of it. There's definitely some stuff in Death Stranding that is still Kojima weirdness that's hard to wrap your brain around in any sort of context, but a lot of it makes sense in the context of the info you get from interviews and emails in Death Stranding. It's just a lot of fucking reading that your average gamer is not going to have the patience to sit through. Luckily, I am not your average gamer. I'm working on my third full playthrough of Death Stranding right now. And twice now I've gone through and read every email in the game, every interview in the game, plus a lot of interviews and stuff on the side. Eventually, we'll get to a full, in-depth story playthrough of Death Stranding. The problem is just how fucking big that game is to do that. Like, playing a single-player Silent Hill game from the early 2000s, which is relatively straightforward by comparison when it comes to talking about story, still takes me like 15 plus hours. Whereas going through and explaining in depth all of Death Stranding can easily take me like 200 to 300 hours. So I'm trying to get to a point where I can efficiently play through Death Stranding and do like a really in-depth playthrough. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm working on a 100% playthrough of Death Director's Cut on PlayStation 5. So I'm still in the middle of that playthrough. I'm like 65 hours in, and there's still a ton of shit going on. So I'm still going through that playthrough on stream. It's not a popcorn fest like Metal Gear Solid 4, but I felt like I struggled to connect some of the feelings. That's fair. Heard Elden Ring is really expansive. Don't know Didn't know that about Death Stranding. I mean, Elden Ring is also very expansive. I'm still playing Elden Ring off stream. At some point, I plan on doing a stream playthrough of it, but I'm still working my way through Elden Ring. I keep restarting.
Killing a person ain't no big deal.
I keep sinking time into it and then restarting and making different characters to do different things earlier on. So I haven't completely beaten Elden Ring yet.
But it wasn't my fault. He made me do it.
Calm down, Eddie. Tell me what happened.
That guy, he had it coming.
He had it coming.
I didn't do anything. He just came after me. Besides, he was making fun of me with his eyes, like that other one.
Just for that, you killed him?
What do you mean, just for that?
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Oh yeah? Why not? Till now I always let people walk all over me. Just like that stupid dog. He had it coming too.
Eddie?
I was just joking, James. He was dead when I got here, honest. Anyway, I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Dave Shoffley did such a good job as Eddie, balancing the goofiness with the unraveling. HD Eddie sounds like a stoner. I agree. I love Dave's performance as Eddie. I mean, it's not exactly a hot take enjoying the original voice actor over the HD collection, but yeah, Eddie loses so much of his character and personality that Dave gave him in the original compared to the HD collection. But you could say that about pretty much every voice in the HD. Someone told me they like the newer voices in HD better than original, and I don't know how to feel. I mean, I've met people with similar opinions. And I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's all it is, you know? It's just everyone's going to have different ideas of what they like or dislike about a game. And absolutely, a lot of my ideas of things that I like about Silent Hill 2 are rooted in the fact that I've been playing this game and used to how it was since, 2001. So when you're that familiar with a game for so many years, and then they change things so drastically in the HD collection, like you can't help but notice the differences, right? But at the same time, somebody who's like never really played Silent Hill 2 and is playing it for the first time and like plays the HD collection, I can understand somebody from that perspective, like playing the full game in HD and getting used to those voices and then looking up like cutscenes online of the original voice dialogue, and you get a different opinion about things. Not map. What the hell was the logic behind the script changes in Silent Hill 3? I don't know. That's one of those things that to me didn't need to be changed, but even that, like, the dialogue changes They ran all that through Jeremy. That all went through Jeremy Blaustein, who did the original translation for Silent Hill 2, 3, and 4 and all the localization stuff. So he signed off on it. But I agree, it's something that didn't need to be changed in the first place. The one change that made your mind goblins go crazy was that they retextured the roads. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that where you just get used to seeing... You don't realize how much you spend wandering the town with sort of your downward angle camera looking at the road. And it's such a... When you don't have anything to compare it to, it's such a background thing. But then, like I said, you get used to seeing it one way since 2001, all the way up until 2012, 2013, when HD Collection came out. So you get used to it for 12 years, and then suddenly it looks very clean, and you can't help but like wandering around the town, which you spend a lot of time in Silent Hill 2 doing, looking at those roads, which you don't realize how much time you spend doing, but you do, and being like, why does this all look so weird? But again, from the perspective of someone who's never played Silent Hill 2 before, playing HD Collection, they're not going to notice something like that. Sure, he signed off on it, but was he told to sign off on it? Shit. Considering they didn't even bother talking to most of the voice actors about it, they didn't have to consult Jeremy at all. But again, if they're going to change stuff, it's like, why even bother? I don't know. Yep. Konami does have a bad sort of track record with not just voice actors, but not properly crediting people and contacting people, and there's a lot of practices that Konami is not good about. Oh shit, I need the I didn't even go get the wire clippers. Like making games, for example? Well, okay. Konami is more than just a video game publisher. Konami owns a lot of different companies and does a lot of different things, especially in Japan. Like, they own insurance companies and health spas. They make karaoke machines and gambling machines, not just Pachi slots and pachinko games, but regular slot machines. Like, more than half of the slot machines, if you go to Las Vegas and walk in a casino, usually about 50 to 60% of those machines are made by Konami. So, like, Konami could never make a video game again.
Not at all silly.
And their company is absolutely fine financially.
Maria? That thing, it stabbed you. There was blood everywhere.
So from the CEO standpoint, I can kind of at least understand from the business aspect, Konami just focusing on other things and not sinking as much into video games, because Video games now,
James, honey,
compared to video games being made at the late 90s, early 2000s, when most of the good Silent Hill games were made, are very different. Like,
Are you confusing me with someone
back in the
else?
day, the level of team and budget and everything required to make like a AAA game
We're always so
was just a
together.
tiny little
Remember that time in the
fraction
hotel?
of what it is now. Now it's become so big and bloated in budget where people are
You
expecting
said you took everything.
absolute pristine,
forgot that
super
video.
hyper realistic graphics and mocapped recognizable
Wonder if it's
actors
still
and
there.
you know, all of these different aspects
know
that go
about
into
that?
what people expect from like a AAA game title.
Aren't you Maria?
It costs so
And not your
much to
Mary.
invest all of that into game development.
So you're
that-
Maria.
It's very unlikely for a company to make their money
am.
back unless they make
You
like
want me to be?
the biggest fucking
All I
game
want from you is an answer.
of the time. So it's like, yeah, your Resident Evil 8, you know,
Doesn't
Resident Evil
matter who
7,
I am.
your Elden Ring, they're going to make their fucking
I'm
money
here
back.
for
They
you,
sank a
James.
shit ton of money into it, but they're going to make their money back and then some.
I'm real.
But your solo story-driven
Don't you wanna
experience
touch
survival
me?
horror game,
I
probably not. Even if it's one of the best ones ever
Come and get
made,
me. I can't do
horror is
anything
kind of a
with these
niche
boys.
genre. So that you're trying to
Okay.
like have this
Stay
huge
right
budget
I'll be
and
there
meet these
soon.
huge expectations of people and players, and it's a very unlikely guarantee that you're going to make your money back on your investment. From the business standpoint, I can 100% understand Konami not making games. But then, Satsujin, you bring up that point. Why not just sell their IPs and be done with it? Because they are not interested in selling the IPs in order to satiate fans' desires for new games. They would much rather hold on to the IPs where they can still make money doing nothing. Because if you can do nothing and make money as a business, as a company, you've got it fucking made. So when you can just hold on to your IP and you have somebody like Behavior Studios come and say, hey, we have this game Dead by Daylight. Can we use Silent Hill things in our game? We'll develop it. We'll model it. We'll make everything. We'll run it past you. All you have to do is sign off on it, say that it's okay, and you get 8% of every DLC pack Silent Hill content sold. Konami's going to absolutely hang on to the IP because they can make deals like that where they just license out the IP, you know? Oh, hey, a skateboard manufacturer. We can do some artwork and put out some skateboards for your merch shop. We do all the work. You make your profit. All you have to do is sign off because you're the owner of the IP. Like, they're making money for signing paperwork. They don't have to make a new game. They don't have to deal with PR and publicity and marketing and hiring the dev teams and like all the investment that goes into making a game. Konami makes money just sitting on the property and licensing it out to third-party companies to make merch or DLC for Mazes and Monsters or Dead by Daylight or whatever. Bomberman. There was fucking Pyramid Head and Nurse are in like whatever the last Bomberman game was from like 2016, 2017, whatever. Just by holding on to the Silent Hill IP, they make shit tons of money and don't have to do a thing except sign off on paperwork and collect the check. Like, it sucks, but that's the reality.
Are you okay?
And honestly, that's part of why I don't buy into the whole Bloober team rumors because Bloober Team, as much as I dislike their games, they've got a decent following. And honestly, I don't see Konami putting that much investment into hiring them.
I'm not trying to order you.
Because they're established
So what do you
enough.
want then? Oh, I see.
If Konami was going to bother with anything Silent Hill related, I would see them giving it to a much smaller, cheaper development
Always
team.
the same. You're only after one thing.
No, that's not true at all.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead and say it. Or you could just force me. Beat me up like he always did. You only care about yourself anyway. You disgusting pig.
Yeah, you only care about yourself anyway, Konami. You disgusting pigs. Ugh. Bleh.
Angela,
Don't touch me. You make me sick.
Yeah, Konami. You make me sick. Yeah, Silent Hill leakers. You make me sick.
You said your wife Mary was dead, right?
Wasn't it confirmed that the team who made the Dementium games wanted to make a Silent Hill game but were rejected? Yes.
Liar!
Dementium,
I know about you.
those were on what,
You don't
DS?
want her around anymore. You probably found someone else.
That was originally a dev team that wanted to pitch a portable handheld Silent Hill game
ridiculous.
for the DS and stuff. And Konami didn't bite, so they just made their own games. So many fans try to act like Resident Evil 1 was some major horror achievement. Not be it was action? No, I mean, it was definitely still, like, credit where credit is due. The Resident Evil series did a lot for, and Resident Evil 1 especially did survival horror, you know, a lot of justice, and was definitely like groundbreaking for its time, even if it is more action oriented. But like, you got to keep in mind that that's kind of how horror was back in the day. Like, video games in general at that time were very action oriented. Like, that was the idea. Things had sort of been created at that point. This was while the arcade generation was still going on, where you would develop games as a way of like putting them in arcades and making quarter eaters. This is still very early on with the shift of focus of game development going to home console experiences rather than like arcade quarter eating experiences. Because at that point, like, horror pretty much just was that. You had stuff like Resident Evil and Alone in the Dark, Seventh Guest. You had Doom. You had Wolfenstein. You had Castlevania and Ghouls and Ghosts, or Super Ghosts and Goblins. Like, early horror games tended to be actiony, and Resident Evil was just sort of the natural evolution of that. You know? Yeah, exactly. Silent Hill 1 even had an attract mode as far as making that arcade comparison, and that was much later. That was 1999. That was 5 years after Resident Evil 1.
Maria?
Yeah, House of the Dead.
Maria? Maria, no. What happened to you? Why? Why?
Even been proven they made games harder for American audiences to get money from repeat rentals. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When you look at like NES games versus their Famicom counterparts, and stuff was made like way harder for a lot of American counterparts because there was such a big market for game rentals. And again, that was just sort of an extension of like the arcade mentality of make the games hard so that the kids sit there and pump in more quarters. House of the Dead, now there was some voice acting. What's wrong with this city? No! No! Oh! Some legendary voice acting in House of the Dead. There was nothing I could do. You want legendary voice acting? Look up an old PS1 game called Overblood. Oh my god, Overblood is another one. There's so many great games like from that era for just amazing bad voice acting. Eddie.
Eddie? What are you doing? What does it look like? He always busted my balls. You fat, disgusting piece of shit. You make me sick. Fat ass, you're nothing but a waste of skin. You're so ugly, even your mama don't love you. Well, maybe he was right. Maybe I am nothing but a fat, disgusting piece of shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead. And the corpse can't laugh. From now on, if anyone makes fun of me, I'll kill him. Just like that.
Eddie, have you gone nuts? I knew it.
You too. You're just like him, James.
Hey, I didn't mean anything.
Don't bother. I understand. You've been laughing at me all along, haven't you? Ever since we first met. I'll kill you, James.
I'll kill you, James. No. Shotgun wins. People think this is where the fog in Silent Hill comes from. I just nod.
What it does to you, James?
It's true, the fog in Silent Hill comes from the big old tubes in Eddie's butcher room. I've read a lot of weird, bad fan theories. I don't think I've ever heard that one. That Eddie's butcher room is where the fog, all of the fog in the town comes from.
Ran away like a scared little girl. Yeah, I killed that dog. It was fun. It tried to chew its own guts out.
There was no fog in Silent Hill until Eddie arrived.
Then he came after me. I shot him too, right in the leg. He cried more than the dog. He's gonna have a hard time playing football on what's left of that knee.
You think it's okay to kill people? You need help, Eddie.
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too.
You and me are the same. We're not like other people. Don't you know that?
Don't you know that?
Let's party!
Good party, Eddie.
Eddie? Eddie? I killed a human being. A human being.
A human being. Those whack-ass shoes? Damn.
Mary,
The man is dead. He's already dead, Decky.
did you
We're
really
going
die
after Eddie's
3 years
drip.
ago?
Eddie's fucking casual golf shoes. Kid Pro Quo. Thank you so much for the 7 months. Eddie Fog equals best fog. The laces go down so far. They really do. But we can't go back in now. No turning back. Also, I need to save here. Because when I was doing the story playthrough last month, the whole thing crashed in the hotel. And that might happen again. And hopefully there's a way to work around it. Eddie, what are those? Those are my chanclas. That was my HD collection Eddie impression. The game crashed. It wasn't your internet? I thought I had an issue with the game too. It may have just been my internet, actually. Hey, Roads Await. Hope you're doing well tonight. So you actually own Shattered Memories on PS2 because it's scary expensive now. Oh yeah, I own physical copies of all the games. But tonight, I'm testing out the PCSX2 emulator. So I'm going through all of the PS2 releases of Silent Hill games using this emulator. Just to test things. It was a good excuse for a marathon to play a bunch of Silent Hill games back to back. How much of Konami's money came from Nub? Well, keep in mind, when people spend $100 on Shattered Memories or, you know, however many hundreds of dollars on Silent Hill games, Konami's not getting any of that. Used game market, none of it is going to Konami. Like, Konami did get a lot of my money because I bought pretty much every game in the series when it came out new. So they would have made money off of that. But I've also rebought the games over the years and bought different copies and used versions and things like that. So anything bought from another person, like Konami doesn't see any of that money. From my untrained eye, the emulation looks pretty good. I mean, so far so good. And I mean, the emulator has got much higher internal resolution. We're widescreen playing the game at 16:9, where you'd be playing at 4:3. in classic PS2 setup. At some point, like, I've got all the physical copies of all of the Silent Hill games, but I don't have a good way to capture pre-HDMI consoles right now in very good quality. So capturing from PS1 hardware, PS2 hardware, a lot of that stuff, I just don't have a good way to capture it in good quality. So eventually I'm going to work on that and try and get some stuff to where I can capture from older consoles
Did I scare you?
in really good quality.
You did.
And then do like a full original hardware series playthrough where we play Silent Hill 1 on a PlayStation
You're
1.
here to find Mary.
You know, Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, all on an actual
Well,
PS2.
Have you?
Origins on...
Is that why you
We
were
could
here
do
too?
Origins on original PSP.
Here, isn't
I've
she?
got a PSP with
You
video
know where
out
she is.
cables.
Tell me.
I would just have to get all my capture set up again.
Tired
So we
of
could do like
walking.
direct from the PSP video out
I
capture
wish I knew.
for
But
Origins.
she said it in
Um,
the letter.
And then after that, it's pretty much normal HD
Wanna read it?
for Homecoming, Shattered Memories,
Don't tell
Downpour.
Rachel, okay?
Who's Rachel?
She was our nurse. I took it from her locker.
Boom, boom. Boo, boo. My dearest Laura, I'm leaving this letter with Rachel to give to you after I'm gone. I'm far away now in a quiet, beautiful place. Please forgive me for not saying goodbye before I left. Be well, Laura. Don't be too hard on the sisters. And Laura, about James, I know you hate him because you think he isn't nice to me, but please give him a chance. It's true he may be a little surly sometimes, and he doesn't laugh much, but underneath, he's really a sweet person. Laura, I love you like my very own daughter. If things had worked out differently, I was hoping to adopt you. Happy 8th birthday, Laura. Your friend forever, Mary.
Laura, how old are you?
There was a hack for making HDMI adapters for some consoles. We'll have to look it up. Well, I mean, there's really
Couldn't
good
have died 3 years ago.
hardware out there
Could
for
she
capturing from
be
older
here?
consoles and converting to HDMI for
Is this
capture
the
cards.
quiet, beautiful place she was
Um,
talking about?
But the problem is a lot of that stuff has gotten kind of crazy expensive.
Me and Mary talked
Like,
a lot about
go
Silent
ahead and
Hill.
go look up
She
Framemeisters.
even showed
FrameMeister
all
was
the
kind of
pictures.
like
She
the
really wanted to come back. That's why
the
I'm here.
the gold
Maybe you'll
standard
get it if you see
for
the other
capturing
one.
from old
The
consoles.
one Mary.
And they're out of production
Huh?
now, so they're like
Let's drop it.
$1,000 or more.
Laura.
Like literally
I
$1,000
gotta
fucking
find
dollars
it.
for a thing that I would
Laura.
use every once in a while to capture PS1 or PS2. There are better, cheaper things and other ways to work around it, but I'm gonna have to do some research on it and see what way I want to go about it. And how much money I can invest into the whole thing to get a good setup for capturing from older consoles. Some stuff out there's decent HDMI adapters. I actually did that for Shattered Memories when I was speedrunning Shattered Memories. There are a lot of times where I would capture from my Wii, because the Wii, the original Wii, not the Wii U, but the original Wii, did not have HDMI out. So I bought an adapter that just plugs into the video out port of the original Wii and has an HDMI port on it. So for a long time, I would capture Shattered Memories that way. But then once I got a Wii U, which was backwards compatible with original Wii games, that had a native HDMI out, so I started using that for Shattered Memories. What's the lore explanation of Abstract Daddy showing up now as a common enemy? Angela is here. We're going to meet her on a staircase later. She is physically here in the hotel. So the same way that James is here and his monsters are manifesting, Angela is here, and her things are also being manifested. Lose. Nilt. Lost. All right, got the key. Got the music box. Never played Shattered Memories PS2 version, only the Wii version. I assume textures are a lot less detailed. Motion control puzzles are janky. The motion control is pretty much directly replaced with just PS2 buttons, where you just like push a button. Like instead of nodding or shaking your head no to answer Kaufman, you'll just press like circle for no, square for yes. And then the stuff where you need to like grab and pinch, it's all just you move a cursor with the joystick and yeah. We need to go get the elevator. But yeah, Shattered Memories, it's got a lot of weird changes from Wii to PS2 and even more changes from Wii to PSP. A lot of people don't realize that Shattered Memories was ported not only to PlayStation 2, but also to PSP. And for the most part, Shattered Memories is the same from version to version, but stuff definitely looks different. Some areas of the game are completely changed. Like when you go to the bar with Michelle, you can't explore the entire like upper floor. Like that whole area of the bar is just gone. So they like changed a lot of stuff in the ports, more than just downgraded textures and things. ...2010 PS2 game. Man, they made PlayStation 2 games for a long time. When you think about the PlayStation 2 coming out in, what, 2000? They kept making games for the PlayStation 2, like, right up until... I want to say, like, 2015 or something? It had a crazy long lifespan. Better graphics kinda killed creativity. In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. I mean, there's definitely some things that can be conveyed much better now because of higher resolution graphics and more realistic looking effects and things. But at the same time, like, you think about the iconic elements of Silent Hill being fog and darkness, which at the time these games were made, those effects are there because they needed to hide draw distance. Like, the consoles they were developing for could not render the game at a far enough distance that they had to hide elements in your field of view. So they used fog and darkness to do that. And that sort of, while it was a detriment to development, it also led to very creative, artistic things in order to sort of overcome those shortcomings. That sound effect is different on PC. indie games are cool too, but not the same thing. IMO. Yeah, a lot of people might hate me for this because there is a lot of really good indie games out there, but like Puppet Combo and stuff like that, I haven't played. I'm not like super interested in those types of games where it's like a game that's coming out that's trying to look like a game from mid 90s to early 2000s. I don't know. It's not necessarily something that completely turns me away from a game, but it's just strange. It's strange to me to see that become such a popular thing when I don't know. I'm old enough to remember that was like the big draw to a new console. Everything was up to 8-bit and then 16-bit and then 30, like 32, 64. And everything was just constantly about pushing the graphics, that we've come full circle to a point where the graphics can't make such a noticeable jump from generation to generation anymore. So games that intentionally are made to look old are really big again. It's strange. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But it turns me away from like really enjoying those games. I have to change my entire control scheme right now so that I can strafe, so we can dance. Feels like most indie horror is either PS1 styled or PT styled. You're not wrong. Like, those are definitely two of the most common sort of setups for indie horror, it feels like. Bro, I'm dropping frames. Why am I dropping frames? Why is it always when I get to the hotel in Silent Hill 2, my internet starts fucking up? I don't know if it's necessarily internet or something else. Yeah, hotel is cursed. Silent Hill 2 is just fucking cursed, man. We're dropping a lot of frames right now. Yo, Kid Pro Quo. Thank you so much for the 5 subs. Kid Pro Quo gifting out a sub to Dry Sponge, Roxy Werewolf, Rat Scratches, Dirtiest Kev, and Uncle Leroy the Third. Thank you so much, Kid Pro Quo. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. A tier shed for each frame dropped. We've dropped almost 4,000 frames. 3,800, 3,900, 4,000 frames, and still dropping. I don't know what is up with The hotel is just cursed, man. I don't know how well everything is still looking or how well it's going for stream. If it's lagging or if it's noticeable. It looks like it's pretty bad. I'm just staring at this like red box in the corner of OBS telling me the connection is shit. While the frame drops get it's a bit stuttery, 20 frames. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The OBS red box of doom. It looks like it's clearing up. We're back in the green. The box has returned to the green. I think we're good. Could always try an OBS reset. If I can, at the very least, finish off Silent Hill 2 and then reset. If it's still giving me trouble, I'll reset before we start Silent Hill 3. For now, it seems like it's stabilized.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area.
Does Shattered Memories work well on Dolphin? Shattered Memories works and looks amazing on Dolphin. The hardest part about running Shattered Memories on Dolphin is configuring a controller. Because if you're playing on anything other than Wii style controllers, setting up the motion controls to buttons or things on a typical controller setup is really fucking hard to do. Like, ideally, you want to have a setup where you're using a Wii controller and nunchuck that is synced up to your computer. But yes, otherwise, Shattered Memories works and looks amazing on Dolphin. Not so much on PCSX2. The PS2 version of Shattered Memories is super busted. Internet permitting, hopefully we'll get to that later tonight. Oh, jeez, he killed his wife. What's up, Wexford?
Mary.
Sorry for the spoilers. It was us. It was James. We were the monsters the whole time.
So there you are, James. Did you get the letter? Did you find Mary? If not, let's get going already, okay?
Laura. Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar, that's a lie!
No, that's not true.
She died because she was sick?
No, I killed her.
I killed her to a 6-year-old. Best father. Okay, first of all, he's not her father. He's just
sorry.
some guy. She was friends with his wife while his wife was in the hospital.
Isn't here.
And give her some credit, she's 8. She's 8 years old. She can handle being told that the husband of her best friend killed her. You got to be able to handle that kind of stuff by the time you're 8.
Laura,
Hey, frames are dropping.
sorry.
Yay. Fuck's sake. That's the real nightmare. Cox Communications Internet. That's the real Silent Hill.
That voice.
Cox and their shitty fucking internet, man. How did that girl get to Silent Hill? She walked. She maybe hitched a ride or took a bus. But when you talk to her, she says she's tired of walking. So presumably, most of the distance, she walked. Did she see any monsters? Laura does not see any monsters. To her, the town is empty and abandoned. It's not normal. There's not like people around. But she doesn't see monsters. Thought she hitched a ride with Eddie. Tired of walking was meant to refer to her walking around the town. See, but the whole ride with Eddie thing, it comes from the intro cutscene. There's like a second and a half where you see Eddie sitting on the ground, leaning against a van, looking at a map, and Laura kicks his leg. You can infer a lot of things from that scene, but it's not a confirmation that that's even Eddie's van, or that he drove that far, or that Laura rode with him. It's literally less than 2 seconds where you just see her and Eddie in front of a van looking at a map. Make of that what you will. That's Eddie's van. I mean, Guy C.
the only one left.
Guy C. He thinks that it's Eddie's van.
Maybe then I can rest. Mama.
But Guy C. He also thinks that COVID is spread through 5G. So I'll take his opinions with a grain of salt.
Mama? It's you. Oh. I'm sorry.
Angela, no.
Thank you for saving me. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserved what happened.
No, Angela. That's wrong.
No.
guy's a schizo just like James in Silent Hill 2. I wouldn't go. I mean, that's
I'm not worth it.
that's obviously going too far, but it is worth saying, according to Jeremy
You
Blaustein,
can save me.
Team Silent hired Guy
You
Seehee
love me?
to play the part of James because he looked like a miserable sack of shit.
Heal all
He
my
was
pain.
he was going through a really messy divorce at the time that Silent Hill 2 was being made, and he was very depressed in
That's what I thought.
the context of him and his wife. So that was part of what got him the job, because he was not a professional actor,
James,
but he had real life experience and was like
give me back
seriously
that knife.
depressed and going through some very serious shit in his life at the time of 2001 when Silent Hill 2 was being developed. So according to Jeremy, that's why Guy got the part.
No.
Team Silent was like, he is a proper depressed in the process of being divorced husband. So he has a lot of parallels with James.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too.
He was taking his daughter to audition for Laura.
Me.
Correct. He wasn't there to audition
Always like
himself. He
this.
was just there so that his daughter could audition for Laura. It was the same for Dave Shoffley, for Eddie's voice actor. Although Dave most likely had the intention of auditioning as well, because he is a professional voice actor, whereas Guy Seehee was not. Like, Dave had already done voice acting in a bunch of other stuff. He does some bit characters in Shenmue and stuff like that before Silent Hill 2. Isn't it Angela's voice actress that sang the Snake Eater theme and did Claudia's voice in Silent Hill 3? She did Claudia's voice in Silent Hill 3. She did not sing the Snake Eater theme, but she's the vocalist for a lot of other Metal Gear Solid tracks. Such as, I think she sings The Best Is Yet to Come, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, Donna Burke. She sings for a lot of stuff. She's like a professional singer and voice actress. She's Claudia in Silent Hill 3. She's the fucking voice she's the English voice on the Shinkansen in Japan. If you go right on the train, not just the Shinkansen, but a lot of train lines in Japan, you'll hear them make announcements about what the next stop is and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And you'll hear Donna Burke's voice.
That's why I needed
She's
you.
the iDroid in Metal Gear Solid 5.
I needed someone to punish me for my sins.
Donna Burke's done a ton of
That's
stuff.
all over now. I know the truth. Now it's time to end this.
Sins of the Father. Thank you, Wexford. Yeah. So she has done vocals for a lot of Metal Gear Solid tracks, but not the Snake Eater theme. That is a different singer whose name escapes me right now. But that wasn't Donna. Cynthia Harrell. Thank you, El Palazzo. She's the one who sang Snake Eater. Also the vocalist for the ending theme from Symphony of the Night. Oh, I love the ending theme of Symphony of the Night. It's so strange and out of place, but good. Bunch of nerds in chat. Hell yeah. Nerds rise up.
Mary?
What do you want, James?
I brought you some flowers.
Flowers? I don't want any damn flowers. Just go home already.
Mary, what are you saying?
Look, I'm disgusting. I don't deserve flowers. Between the disease and the drugs.
Guy said on the SBFP Super Best
What are you
Friends
looking at?
podcast,
Get the hell out of here.
sound engineer told them to
You
put
know
emphasis on
already.
certain letters or words.
No use to anyone.
Well, I'm sure there was a sound engineer telling them to put emphasis on
Maybe
that. Like they
today.
had a lot of different people giving them direction.
It'd be easier if they
That's
just kept
where
me.
a little bit of the story
Because the
gets kind of
hospital is making
twisted,
a nice profit
because
off me. They wanna
Jeremy
keep me
Blaustein
alive.
claims that a lot of that voice direction
you
for
still
the
here?
English-speaking
I told you
voice
to go.
actors was from him. That he would talk with Team Silent and then directly work with the actors.
James,
But Guy and
Wait.
Jeremy kind of have like a personal
Don't go.
vendetta against each other. So they've both been known to like
don't leave
get
me
certain
alone.
things
I didn't mean what I
wrong.
said. Please,
They don't
James.
tell things exactly the way they are because they're omitting the
Tell me
other
I'm not
one's
going to die.
participation on the project because they just don't like each other. So Guy might have said some sound engineer told them to put emphasis on certain letters or words. Jeremy's gonna turn around and be the one who says that he was that person giving them voice direction and emphasis. But then the reason why a lot of stuff can sound awkward and stilted, and Jeremy has talked about this in interviews as well, where you not only have all Japanese speaking team members translating things over to bilingual localizer Jeremy Blaustein, conveying what he hears from them over to predominantly English speaking actors. But then you also have a non-English or native English speaking sound editor going back through and taking all those little pieces of individual dialogue and syncing them up in the game's code so that like when a conversation happens, it's not all just one big audio track. It's lots of small audio bits here and there of this actor saying one thing, another actor saying another thing. So when they piece all of that together, you're going to sometimes get awkward pauses that were not there when they recorded. Which is weird because Guy is fluent. True. That is something to take into consideration. Out of all of the actors who worked on Silent Hill 2, if any members of Team Silent would have given direction directly to Guy, without Jeremy being involved, that may have been the case because Guy is fluent in Japanese and was at the time as well. Ooh, Maria ending. If you get Mary sitting here on the bed when you come up onto the roof, you're about to get the Maria ending.
James, I've been waiting.
Mary. I'm sorry it took so long.
Didn't you want to see me?
Yes, I wanted to see you. Even an illusion of you. That's why I came here.
It's not true, is it? You killed me.
I couldn't watch you suffer.
Don't make excuses, James. I know I was a burden on you. You must have hated me. That's why you got rid of me.
It's true. I may have had some of those feelings. It was a long 3 years. I was tired.
That's why you needed this Maria person? James, do you really think I could ever forgive you for what you did?
It's been so long since you've seen this ending. It's a shame that the my connection is turning to shit. That I'm dropping. We've dropped 41,000 frames. So yeah. Hopefully the internet and frame drops aren't too bad. Enjoy the ending of Silent Hill 2. I'm going to restart my stream, restart OBS after this, and then we'll move on to Silent Hill 3. Hopefully that fixes whatever's going on with the frame drops. And it's not just internet being shitty.
You killed Mary again?
That wasn't Mary. Mary's gone. That was just something Maria? Maria?
What, James?
I want you. I want you with me.
Are you sure?
Come on. Let's get out of here.
What about Mary?
It's okay. I have you.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy.
You'd better do something about that cough.
Psychic spies from China try to steal your mind's elations. Has anybody ever heard that mashup of Californication with this song? Better do something about that cough. That's one of Guy He's best line deliveries in the whole game. It's just that one little end. You better do something about that cough. Don't think you've ever heard that mashup? What's up here, Amy? I'll have to pull it up and play it. Here, we'll skip this. We've all heard how it sounds normally. It's kind of threatening. Hang on.